All right. Grand Rising, my fellow Ethernals, fellow Elohim. Welcome again to another sunny Sunday of the One Great I Am Awakening. I'm Chris Taylor, one of your hosts, and with me is my partner in spirit and in mind, Mr. Gregory Isaac Thomas, aka Sir T. Sir T, I see you on the panel. Are you able to say a word? I know you're
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Greetings, Grand Rising to everyone. Wonderful Sunday morning. It's sunny. It's beautiful.
It is.
Yeah, man, it's beautiful. We are breathing. Everything is functioning exactly as it is, in the right place at the right time, always.
Mhm.
Always in the right place at the right time, and never such a thing as one being in the wrong place at the wrong time. It's impossible. You can only be in one place at a time, and that place has to be the right place. Where else would be the right place? So
True,
that's
true.
where we're at this morning. This morning we are discussing power of forgiveness. Forgiveness. Giving before you receive. Where you're giving to yourself.
Okay, put
You're
that.
giving before you receive.
Mhm.
Because you're giving to yourself. There's an old saying. It's not a biblical saying, right? It wasn't written in a Bible anywhere, but the interpretation, follows suit. It says, God gives to man, and I'm sure you can complete your recite circus. What man first
What
gives to
man
God,
first gave to himself?
what man first gives to himself, correct? So
Mm.
God give to man what man first give to himself. Because that giving man, he's the God. He's the one doing all the giving and the receiving.
Yeah,
The key is
a cycle.
exactly the key is awareness, to be aware of it. You have all this power to do all this giving, but if you're not aware of it, then it's useless to you. Well, we are here at the One Great I Am to promote awareness. Awareness. Be aware of the power within. Everything that you've ever imagined, Father God, to be able to do. Don't change that imagination. Hold that imagination there. But just give that power to yourself. Everything where you think Father God can do, know that you are the one who can do it. Not the you on the outside, the inner you, the silent observer. Have you ever watched yourself? You can do it right now.
Yeah, all the time.
Can't you imagine yourself hovering above your figure wherever you're at right now, watching everything that you do?
Oh
How
yeah,
come you how
everything
come
in a
you're
loop.
exactly how come you're able to do that? How come you're able to see the whole everything that you're doing all at once? You're able to
Without,
hover
without,
above
without
yourself
even your eyes closed.
without even correct. It is that you, the observer, that's the power, that's the God that can do all things. That observer can observe anything you want him to observe.
Anywhere.
Anything you want the observer to observe you doing right now, that observer at will, immediately, instant reaction, that observer can observe you doing anything you choose to observe yourself doing. Now, how consistent are you going to do that? It all comes down to consistency. How consistent, if you see yourself doing it long enough and consistently enough, before long, you're just going to be doing it. Because what you see is what you get.
Yeah,
What we say wishes,
what
the
you
wish
see.
fulfilled. What we say wishes, what I saw happened. And
Yep.
you get to decide where you're seeing, or you will get to decide because you are the silent observer and you can choose any activity and see yourself doing, being, achieving, accomplishing that. The problem is we do that and we see, we imagine and picture ourselves doing something, but we attach no emotion to it. And what emotion are you supposed to attach? The feeling of the fulfilled wish. That you're supposed to enter into the presence with thanksgiving, with a feeling of thanksgiving and rejoicing. But we don't do that. I'm gonna tell you what feeling we end when we picture ourselves, you know what feeling we enter with and what emotion, despair, doubt, doom, gloom. Because we are able to attach those emotions without even thinking. Those emotions actually feel natural to you. While when you're trying to convey the feeling of the wish fulfilled, you actually have to be struggling and lying to yourself and trying to bring that into this because that doesn't feel natural to you. You have to make that become natural. You have to make the feeling of the wish fulfilled becomes your most common feeling. Walk around with a feeling of I'll always talk about G-Mac. G-Mac laugh no matter what in a circus.
Yeah.
No matter what, man, we could be going through the toughest time. I'm talking when I met the man at the academy, we could be going through the toughest time where the drill sergeants are punishing everybody for something that only one person did wrong. And they're punishing all 190 other way. And everybody's pissed off and cussing and J-Mac just a laugh. The man is just laughing at what can you do with a man who laugh about everything? What can you do? Can you do something with that man? Can you upset him? Can you get him down? What can you do?
Start laughing with him though.
You have to start laughing with him too. And at the time, GMAC wasn't even, I don't think he was even aware of the consciousness movement. It's just natural to him. Because at the time when I met GMAC, he was about 19. But no matter what's going on, the man always have a beautiful countenance about it. That's where we have to try to get to. We are nothing going on the outside affects what's going on the. You see, little boat where you see out in the ocean there. You see how much water out there. You see your boat little. As long as that water stays outside the boat is fine. If you allow some of the water from outside the boat to start getting inside the boat, it's
So
going
they
to
done
sink.
far.
It's going to sink. Circus. Over to you.
Touched on some really great points, Sir T. Jano. Those are wonderful nuggets. And thankfully we'll have them recorded so we can go back and listen and take notes. Wonderfully articulated, my brother. Yeah, man. So we know we're ready. That was laying the foundation for today's message, today's lesson on the one great I am awakening. And it's titled, forgiving yourself of past transgressions. Okay, forgiving yourself of past transgressions. What would that do? It will unlock your power to manifest. As simple as that sounds, we're going to go into a deep dive today to fully expound upon what is really true forgiveness. And what is transgressions? Transgression says right here, what it means. It means an act that goes against a law, rule, or code of conduct, known as an offense. So it is an act that goes against a law. The law we're talking about here is a universal law, the law of mind, the law of consciousness, awareness. No other law supersedes that. It's the law of all laws. And we oftentimes transgress against it in ignorance. And but we have the remedy or the ability to go back and undo the transgression. And that is in the form of forgiveness. Not in the sense that we were taught to pray to some God in the sky that does not exist, asking for forgiveness. That will never happen. That's a folly, misrepresentation of your mind, your consciousness. This is why you continue to miss the mark, because you're asking or talking to the wrong so-called God. The only God to talk to is yourself, the awareness, the observer, who is you. And it's just being an external you. You're able to see yourself in the flesh, but you're also able to see who you really are in spirit. All right. So we're going to explore that today and in this lesson. So I'm going to play two audios. I'm going to play, it's a short, I'm going to play it real quickly, maybe two times or so. And then we're going to go into our actual video or audio. And it is called The Prudent Shares of Revision. Last week we talked about revision is the act of changing your past in order to, bring about your wish fulfilled. Okay, revision is, going back and reviewing the past day, week, month, years, and so on and so forth, in order to undo any sins, if you want to call it that, which is missing the mark. Anything that we did unwisely or wrongly, we can go back and correct it. So that was the lesson last week. So this is merely a reinforcement, a follow-up, to expound more upon what is really revision. Revision is forgiveness of your missed opportunities, or your transgression against your desire. So that's what revision is going back to forgive. Surti just touched upon it. Forgiveness is giving yourself ahead of time your desire, because the word for, or the prefix for, means to go forward, ahead. That's why they call this the forehead. It's in the front. Okay? In Jamaica, we say forehead. But your forehead is in the front. That's what they call the forehead. This is the back of the head, forehead. Okay? So forgive means to go in front, go ahead of yourself, and give yourself the thing you desire right now, but ahead of the time of you receiving it. So we're going to expound upon that some more. Well, let me play this audio real quickly and then go into the next one to expound more upon that. That one is titled The Prudent Shares of Revision. So let's see if I can locate. Here we are. So this is all from Neville, of course. So let's listen to this one right here. Very powerful audio. The Art of Living Is. Let's take a listen.
Revision is of greatest importance when the motive is to change oneself, when there is a sincere desire to be something different, when the longing is to awaken the ideal active spirit of forgiveness. Without imagination, man remains a being of sin. Man either goes forward to imagination or remains imprisoned in his senses. To go forward to imagination is to forgive. Forgiveness is the life of the imagination. The art of living is the art of forgiving. Forgiveness is, in fact, experiencing in imagination the revised version of the day, experiencing in imagination what you wish you had experienced in the flesh. Every time one really forgives, that is, every time one relives the event as it should have been lived, one is born again. Revision is of greatest importance when the motive is to change oneself, when there is a sincere desire to be something different, when the longing is to awaken the ideal active spirit of forgiveness. Without imagination, man remains a being of sin. Man either goes forward to imagination or remains imprisoned in his senses. To go forward to imagination is to forgive. Forgiveness is the life of the imagination. The art of living is the art of forgiving. Forgiveness is, in fact, experiencing in imagination the revised version of the day, experiencing in imagination what you wish you had experienced in the flesh. Every time one really forgives, That is, every time one relives the event as it should have been lived, one is born again. Revision.
All right. So let's stop this. I'm going to get back to this tape shortly. The pruning shears of revision. The short tape is only 15 minutes. So we're going to see if we can get to it, timely and stuff like that. But just want to go back and revisit this audio you guys just listened to. Very profound. The art of living is, forgiveness, forgiving. You hear them mention that the imagination is what you use to forgive. Your imagination is what you use to forgive. Never got to say that your imagination is the Christ or the Jesus spoken of in Scripture. So let's see if we can break this down. So each of us have our own imagination, but the grand imagination, the one, is known as the awareness or the Father. That grandness of imagination cannot change. It always is. It doesn't have the ability to change to anything other than what it is, which is all that there is. Okay? It knows good, it knows evil, it knows everything. Okay? Nothing that there could ever be. It knows it all. Okay? Anything that it could ever be, it knows it all. However, in order to be able to change from one thing to another, okay, it had to be divided or individualized into the many different facets of itself, many different awareness of itself, many different imaginations. It's like you have the ocean, and the ocean is made up of multiple drops. Okay? So, but the ocean is grand. But in order to have a separate experience, you can scoop a part of that ocean into a cup, and now it becomes just this one section of the grand ocean. But within this ocean, within this section, lies all the properties of that grand ocean. It's still made up of H2O. It's nothing else but H2O. It's just a smaller version of the grand. However, it is giving you the ability to change from the whole and have the ability to dissect, to separate, and to create from the whole your own experience. This is why all of us have our own imagination. Sir T, what do you have to say about that? Sir T? How am there? Oh, it looked like he got, I don't know. I don't know if he's trying to get back in and cannot get back in with the okay. Let's raise it on when you're ready, big brother. But the concept spoken of in scripture. So we just want to break it down. Grand Rising Laurencia, welcome to the One Great I Am. We're talking about today, a wonderful lesson that is important to finally understand, which is basically forgiveness. Forgiving yourself of past transgressions will unlock your power to manifest. Okay? You have a power within you that you have to forgive the mishaps, the misuse of this power. You have to forgive the unknowing misuse, or even knowing misuse or misuses multiple of this power in order to set it free, to unlock its potential. Until we do that, we're going to continue to struggle in manifesting our desires.
Sir Chris.
Yes, yes, sir.
Yeah, sorry about that. I got caught up with a call right when you were calling at me. But what I wanted to mention is when you use the analogy of a cup of water, a drop of water from out of the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
That drop has all the properties of the ocean,
yes,
just in a smaller volume. In other words, it's not, that little drop is not a drop in the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
It's the ocean in a drop. It's the entire ocean in a drop. It would be like a wave that you see coming from the sea, and you see the wave coming.
That's right.
That wave has every property of all the other waves that is left back out there in the water. That is coming behind it. The first wave has everything that the second, third, and the millionth wave that will be coming afterwards has. And that's what we are in consciousness. That's what we are even as individuals. Anything that one man has done, every other man could do. Because every man is the same man. We are all the same thing. We are consciousness. And when I say consciousness, I'm talking about consciousness that is not structured. It's not geared to any particular thing. You get to structure it and gear it to whatever you have imagined. So in reality, what we really are, purely in our essence, we are purely consciousness. And what you get to experience is simply what you're conscious of. You get to experience what you're conscious of. In other words, you're not conscious of this thing because you're experiencing it. You're experiencing it because you're conscious of it. Let me say that again. You're not conscious of whatever it is that you're going through because you're experiencing it. You're experiencing it because you're conscious of it, or because you were conscious of it even before the experience came. That is why, have you ever seen a man get an experience and have the experience wondering what the hell is this? You know exactly what it is. If you get into trouble, you know you're in trouble. If you're having a wonderful time, you know you're having a... How were you able to identify the experience as soon as it came? Because you created the experience. That's why you were able to identify. You've never seen a man going through something and don't know what he's going through. He might not know how to get out of it, but he knows what he's going through.
True.
Because he's the one that put himself there.
Absolutely.
You are the one that put... So it's all about experience following consciousness. Experience following consciousness. It's like man and shadow. Man move, shadow move. Consciousness move, experience comes. That's what it really is.
And in the Old Testament, Moses says it like this: that he asks God to show his face, and God said, Moses, you cannot see my face, but you can see my back.
Yes, you can see what comes afterwards.
You can see what comes after my face. My face, or the face of God, is your awareness.
Correct.
That you cannot see. You understand? However, as you just mentioned, Sir T, that whatever you see in your consciousness is what follows in expression. And
what
as
you
you
see is
see
what
it,
you
you
get.
only experience it because you are aware of it. You understand? Because you were unintentionally or unconsciously aware of it at some point, and it shows up. How amazing is that?
Well, yeah, and it might seem complicated, it might seem, but it's a very, very simple life philosophy. It's a very simple pattern of life, and it is the same for everything and everyone. There is no change into it. Every man goes through what he's aware of, what you're conscious of. comes into your experience eventually. Simple, and how do you change the things that you're currently conscious of? It's simple. You first of all, you gotta first realize that nobody can change it for you. You are the one who has to change, and the change has to come from within. The change has to come from the deeper depths of yourself, where you lose, you get sick and tired of whatever you're experiencing, and you realize that in order for that to change, you have to change the way you perceive yourself, and not only yourself, the way you perceive everything on the outside. The way you perceive everything on the outside, if you change that, then everything on the outside will start to change. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change.
Like magic.
Like magic. When you change the way you look at things, in other words, the things that you're looking at on the outside, you can't change them on the outside. What you can change is your perception about them. Change the way you see it, and when you change the way you see it, then it has to show up. We are in a different uniform. Have you ever noticed that 5, 6 people could be going through the same thing, having the same experience, yet all 5, 6 of them is reacting to it different, or 1 out of the 6 people choose to react different to it?
Oh yeah.
It's all about how you react to it, how you perceive it. And only you can make that choice. Because you're not no money in a bank, I mean, so you're broke, You're broke because you see yourself as broke. Because you don't have no money in a bank, don't mean so you're broke. You're broke because you see yourself as broke. You're another man thinking this man is so rich and whatever, and him not have money in a bank either. But he just don't see poverty.
Yeah. What you see is what you get.
This is what I remember as a youth, when we were going to high school, there was this brethren named Kaz. I mean, we were children, 12-year-old, 13. And Kaz was a poor man, pick me just like the rest of we. But that youth there have such a mindset. He had such a mindset. Kaz been doing loans since we were in high school. I mean, I talk about the man lend you 10 cents today. And he might make sure to tell us, remember, so when you pay me back tomorrow, 15 cents, you have to give me. Remember, so when you pay me back tomorrow, I'm talking 1983. 10 cents could actually almost buy your lunch.
Oh, yeah.
The man I said, remember when you pay me back tomorrow, 15 cents, you have to give me. They say, right now, because of one of the biggest Jamaican, and this is not even a restaurant, it's a wholesale, one of the biggest Jamaican wholesale in Philadelphia. Import them and they import things from Jamaica. He did not see poverty.
Yeah.
He refused to see it, even though he might go through it just like all of we. He did not see poverty.
It was all around him, but he didn't see that.
But he didn't see that, and Kaz wasn't an A student. He wasn't a bright boy like that. But guess what? As they tell you, the way your school teach the A student to go look at job for the C student. From the C student become the businessman and the A student go work for him.
Yes. Same so.
Yeah.
That's how you construct your business. You're right. You construct your business with smart people because you're not that smart to do it yourself. So you hire the ones who knows. Like most inventors never went all the way to high school or even to school to begin with. Some of them never went past the 4th grade or never even graduate from, middle school or anything like that. Very, very, short lifespan in school, but they have vision. And they often talk about it that they say, why do I have to worry about to know what I'm trying to invent? I just hire, and I have it in my mind, but I hire the right people who can create it, who can make it. I have the idea, but I find the people who can, find the means and ways to do it. You know, so it's exactly like that. And as we're saying here on that audio, it talks a lot about the imagination, and the imagination that all of us have individually is the same imagination, obviously, and it is all these imagination are acting as the sun, you know, which is a limited version of the grand version of yourself. It's like a tree with branches. Okay. Okay, Serti. It's like a tree with branches. The tree is one, but it has many branches. Does any one of us think that the branches that's coming off the tree are separate from the tree? No. None of us can look at the tree and conclude that that is the case. We all associate the branch with the tree. The branches are just individualized sections of the tree, which are carrying, you know, different weight or leaves, number of leaves and whatnot. You know, everything is having its own experience. Different number of fruits, if it's a fruit tree, that's being on each branch. So that's who we are. We are this individualized version of the whole, of the grand imagination. And the reason for that is so that we can have changes. We can have, we can revision, revise, undo, redo our experience, our past experiences. You know, we get to choose as individual of the one what we desire to experience. Because if you're attached to the one and cannot limit or separate yourself from the whole, you're not going to be able to change anything or desire anything. You will not have the experience. You know, it's imagine Walmart has everything inside of it, but Walmart, which is the in this case now the father or the whole, cannot have an experience. Everything is just there. But we get to go in there individually and choose what we desire to experience, purchase, and whatnot. And walk out of Walmart having the experience of that one thing. But until we do that, no one will experience those products or components that are inside. It will just be sitting there collecting dust. So the one great I am, the one awareness, the factory, disperses itself into many in order to have individual experiences of itself. Okay? And that was a story given to us in the New Testament, giving us the insight that this Jesus talking about here is your imagination that saves you. Only your imagination can save you because you're able to imagine a different outcome than the one you have encountered right now. So you can go into your imagination and knowing that it is the same thing that caused the experience you're having now, it's the same thing that's going to get you out of it. So we have a saying in Jamaica, the same knife that we use to kill a sheep is the same knife they use to kill a goat, or vice versa. Okay? Not a different knife, it's the same. Two different animals, two different objectives, but the one thing is using on both. So that is a metaphor or parable, which is just basically telling you that the same thing that gets you into something is the same thing that's going to get you out. It's all based on how you use that thing or misuse the thing. Okay? It's not two powers. It's one power being used two or more different ways. And in doing so, the outcome will be identical to how it is used. It cannot be any other way. It has to be identical to how it was used. You can't plant corn and get orange, or plant peas and get mango. It don't work like that. Whatever you put in is exactly what's going to come right back out. All right, so that's what that audio was basically saying there in our topic for today: forgiveness, or forgiving yourself. Notice that we've been taught to look to a God in the sky to forgive us for our sins or transgression. And we were never taught that it is ourselves who we have to call upon to forgive the things that we missed at some point, something that we didn't accomplish. We have to go back and sort out the mishap. And how do you do that? By not looking at the mistake per se or the bad outcome, but just basically going back and looking at the outcome looking at it as realized. Though it is in your imagination that you're doing it, remember your imagination is your true self. And everything that you're doing in your imagination is something that you're doing right now. It exists right now on that plane of existence. But in time, it will project on this plane so you can have the experience. So therefore, do not get caught up in the fact that it is not five sensory or tangible. It is the reality that you're looking at. What comes next is the expression, the tangible part of it. So it is at your it is best for you to see it as happening now, because it really is. It's just a delay in when it comes to be on this plane of existence. Okay, so that is the true art of we're talking about here as forgiveness, is going back and doing what was the desire that you have, do it the right way in your mind. Going back and editing the past, so to speak. And that is what forgiveness is. But the tape I'm going to play now is going to touch on it in another way, additionally, on not only forgiving ourselves, but forgiving others. And so we're going to show you how that relates. So this is audio from Neville. Very short, only 15 minutes thereabouts, but we're going to go through it periodically. And it's called the pruning shears of revision. So pruning shears of revision is the art of changing something that already happened, by revising it, in the right way that you had decided to be. So let's take a listen, and we're going to come back periodically, touching on some of the stuff that is going to be said. All right, so let's take a listen. We'll be right back.
The following is an excerpt from The Pruning Shears of Revision by Neville Goddard, 1954. This morning's subject is the pruning shears of revision. I firmly believe that if you will wisely and daily use the pruning shears of revision, that you will find there is no objective beyond your ability to realize, and I mean that seriously, no objective beyond your ability to realize. I feel that this morning's subject, that this could be it, that if I never said another word and you heard it and believed it and really used it, this could be the planting that would spread from us here that tomorrow could not do, for it is magic, this pruning shears of revision. It really is not only the achievement of objectives, but if you do it daily, it will awaken in you the Spirit of Jesus, which is continual forgiveness of sin. In this teaching, the sinner should always go free. You will never condemn him, for when the Spirit is awake in you, you will realize in him there is no condemnation, only forgiveness. And forgiveness is not as man of the world thinks when he omits the actual execution of his revenge. What we mean by forgiveness, the identification of the other that we would forgive with the ideal that other wants to embody in the world, and so we do to him what we expect or would like the world to do to us. So whatever I myself would like to embody, that is the vision that I must hold of every man that I meet in my world, that no man is to be discarded, every man is to be redeemed. And my life is the process whereby that redemption is brought about. And I do it simply by identifying the other with the ideal I want to externalize in my world. I have come to tell you it is now. You are now in the Garden of Eden, and you think you are shut out or banished. You are in it, and the garden is your mind. But you need, like every gardener, you need pruning shears, for you have slept, as you are told in the 2nd chapter, having slept, weeds have appeared in the garden, and the weeds are revealing themselves by the conditions and the circumstances of life. For your garden is always projecting itself on the screen of space, and you can see by looking carefully at your world what you allow to grow in the garden of God. But you have a mission. You have a purpose. It is not to amass a fortune. You can do it if you want to. It's not to be famous. It is not to be some mighty power, but simply to tend the garden of God. That's your purpose. You are placed in the garden to dress it and to keep it, that only the lovely things grow in the garden of God. Now every man in the world is rooted in you who look out and see that world. Every man is rooted in me. He ends in me as I'm rooted in and end in God. Because he is rooted in me, he cannot bear other than the nature that the root allows. So he is in me, and any changes desired in the outer world can be brought about only if I change the source of the thing I see growing in my world. You see under fields. Don't be surprised when you see sesamum. The sesamum was sesamum. The corn was corn. The silence and the darkness knew. So is a man's fate born. So don't judge it, because you are the source of the thing that you are beholding. Now turn within and prune it by using these pruning shears of revision. Now this is how we do it. At the end of the day, I review the day. I don't judge it, I simply review it. I look over the entire day, all the episodes, all the events, all the conversations, all the meetings, and then as I see it clearly in my mind's eye, I rewrite it. I rewrite it and make it conform to the ideal day I wish I had experienced. I take scene after scene and rewrite it, revise it, and having revised my day, then in imagination I relive that day, the revised day. I do it over and over in my imagination until this seeming imagined state begins to take on to me the dawns of reality. It seems that it's real, that I actually did experience it, and I have found from experience that these revised days, if really lived, will change my tomorrows. When I meet people tomorrow that today disappointed me, they will not tomorrow. For in me I've changed the very nature of that being, and having changed him, he bears witness tomorrow of the change that took place within me. It is my duty.
All right, so there's quite a few things to unpack there in that section we just listened to. Let's see, we are 5 minutes in, so we got about 10 minutes more left of this audio, but wonderful introduction there. So she mentioned, this is obviously Neville being read by a young lady, and she mentions that the art of forgiveness, in another sense, is let's just say someone you know has a desire, and they, you know, they've been unsuccessful in carrying out this desire, or they feel like it's not possible to happen. So this is how you really forgive that person. So as mentioned, forgiving someone else is not only for a particular transgressions that they had against you, but it is forgiving a friend's misuse of their power, of their imagination, of how they are using their belief system. So you would say to yourself, as mentioned in the tape, that we are all one, we are all rooted in each other. Okay, the other person is you from that viewpoint, and I'm that person from this viewpoint. You understand? Like cameras are projecting on one screen many different angles. It's one screen with many different angles, and that's how we have to perceive ourselves as well. So this is why you can see for the other person what they truly desire, even if they don't have the the knowledge or awareness of how to bring it about or who they are. You can see it for them. So in other words, somebody says to you that I was trying to buy a house, I was trying to buy a car, but they did not grant me the car because I had a repossession before or something like that, or a recent repossession. And you have to go back now. I did this with Certi some time ago, maybe 2 years ago, with some personal that he was going through with his sister. So the what you could do now is go back and revise what the person told you or edit it by saying the opposite. Just finding the words of saying the person come to you and said, "Hey, Chris," or "Hey, Sandra, listen, I'm buying this car and I'm telling you, it's my dream vehicle, and my credit score is great right now, and I really believe that I'm going to get it, or I really have a strong belief that it will be manifested. It will be something that will come to life, or you can hear them telling you that they actually have the vehicle, that they could call you over and say, listen, I just bought this vehicle. I want to share it with you, or I want to go for a ride. I'm going to come by and pick you up in 5 minutes. So you can see them in your own imagination, in your own mind's eye, telling you of good news. Now you already know that they wrote you or called you and tell you that it's not going good or well, but you have the ability to redo it or undo it in your mind, and you see them telling you otherwise, despite the fact that you heard or read that it's not going well. You have the ability, because of who we all are and truly are, and we are the awareness of being. So you can go back and edit what the person say. It's like a role in a movie. The person is acting out what you write as a screenwriter. And if it's not going well, you can always go back and write the script differently for that particular person, so that they're more comfortable with carrying out that act. Okay? So it's the same thing here. You're going back, you're hearing the person say, I got the vehicle. It's the best vehicle I've ever bought. It's lovely, clean, nice, drives so smoothly. I want to come by and show you. We're going to take a ride down, the highway, whatever the case may be. I'll be there in 5 minutes. I'll be there in 30 minutes, whichever way you want to do it. Hear yourself, hear the person telling you that over and over and over. Okay? Why you're doing that over and over in your mind is to convince your subconscious mind, to impress or impregnate your subconscious mind that this is the experience that you're going to have with this friend. Now, in time, that person will call you back and tell you similar to or the equivalent to what you just told yourself over and over. Don't know when it's going to happen, if it's going to be the next minute, the next day, the next week or month, but it will happen. So long as you do not deviate or stop having that belief or faith in that objective that is to come. You cannot lose that reality and go back to what the person said. You have to you have to have the ability to not ever look at or hear what that person told you. Only what you tell yourself, what you hear in the person's voice in your own mind telling you the outcome. And in doing so, that's what true forgiveness of someone else is you're going forward. Remember, I tell you, that the prefix for means ahead, in front of. That's why this is called our forehead, because it's the front of the head. Okay? So you go in front, you go ahead of what the person said and give to them what they desire. So that is forgiveness. You are forgiven. You are going forth, going ahead of the individual and giving to them the thing that they desire. Similar to your own self. Whenever you fail at something, you are aware that you fail at it. You go back and forgive that transgression, that missed opportunity, by seeing yourself having the experience. That is how you forgive yourself. Okay? Forgiveness is not, someone wrong you and you say, all right, I forgive that wrong that you did against me. And that's it. That is not true forgiveness. Forgiveness is a more personal and spiritual act of mind. Okay? And I read earlier what is a transgression. It's now 11:11. Look at that. Transgression, right? What's the meaning of transgression? It's an act that goes against a law. Okay? So it is it's a misuse of the law. And all you're doing is learning the right way to use the law. Okay? Once you learn the right way to use the law, you have forgiven that transgression. Okay? And so the law here is your consciousness. That is the truest law that ever is, because it cannot change. So because the law cannot change and will not change for you, you have to abide within the law itself. Okay? Like gravity, cannot change. So what do you do? In order to experience flight and stuff like that, you have to initiate another law, which is the law of lift. However, gravity still exists. So something has to go against, so to speak, the law of gravity for a while. And gravity has to still exist because you're going to have to come back down. Without gravity, you cannot land. So you have to have it still pulling on you in order for you to come back down and have the experience of flying and stuff like that. So it's the same thing here with your consciousness. You have the ability to change, rearrange, undo past missed opportunities, but you're doing it in mind. And as Serti mentioned earlier, when you change the way you look at things or look at something, that thing that you look at changes. That is really the art of forgiveness, changing how you look at things or a thing, whatever the reality is. You change the perception. Do not use your eyes. It's the worst thing you can ever do. And when you're looking at your life, is using your eyes. Your eyes will rob your reality or your desired outcome. So will your hearing. Okay? It will rob you. So you have to protect yourself by hearing what you want to experience, but you have to do it within yourself, to yourself. Seeing what you want to experience within yourself, to yourself. So you're using your imagination to exercise your five senses. Do not use the conscious mind or the body to hold on to the realities, so to speak, or so-called facts that you're having right now. Go in your imagination and use your five senses to your liking. That act will supersede the present or current situation that you're experiencing in due time. Okay, so you're rewriting the past. Whatever happened, you're going back and rewriting it, editing it, and then you're putting it back out there again to for that to become the actual experience. It will overlap. It will, become the new experience at some point. But you have to hold on to that and turn the other cheek, as mentioned in scripture. Do not adhere to, do not look at what you're experiencing. I don't care how grave it may seem, how difficult it may seem. Turn the other cheek, okay? Meaning to go within. The other cheek is to look at a different perspective, use a different lens, a different angle. If a camera is right here, it can only see what's in front of it. So locate another angle to see behind or to see peripheral more clearer. You understand? So you have the control on how you create your own outcome. Okay, and so that's why they said that the best way to, the best way to create your future is to predict it. And how you predict your future, you imagine it. Okay, you're predicting it in your own mind. You're saying it to your own self, and you can actually do it by going back in the past and revise it, edit it, and then let that, and then as Never just said, experience it in your imagination, what you edited, go back and revise the day, the week, the month, or even the year. It doesn't have to be something that happened last week. It could be something that happened a year ago. Go back and revise it and live it in your mind as to how you would actually live it. How would you feel if you were actually having the experience? And then just wait, and you will see the manifestation of it in some due time. I like what she mentioned about the Garden of Eden. That we are given, what do you call it now? We're given sole ownership of the garden. The garden is your mind, your consciousness. It is not an actual garden. There is no Garden of Eden that ever existed. It exists within. Okay, you are put into this garden to prune it, to keep it free of weeds and garbage and stuff like that. You are a sole proprietor. Okay, no one else can do it for you. You have to do it yourself. Others will come and aid you, but the others who come and aid you are the idea or the imagined states that you have encountered within your mind, and someone has to come and play the part. That's why you have to be very careful of what you imagine or what you contemplate or meditate on, because someone will come and play that part. So your mind, your awareness, your consciousness is this Garden of Eden that we were put in. Okay, and you are to learn the law of the mind. And the best way, once you learn the law of mind, you will become your best at keeping it, pruning it, and keeping it in order, throughout your life and whatnot. So that is the truest story, really, our conclusion of what the Garden of Eden really is or was and what it really does mean. All right. So what we're going to do now, we're going to go back to some more of the tape to unfold some more of the information here from this audio, Pruning Shares of Revision. We're talking about today, for anyone who have maybe just joined us, we're talking about forgiving yourself, okay? Forgiving yourself of past transgressions will unlock your power to manifest, okay? Your power to manifest is that inner you that has had some past transgressions, some past mishaps. And these are subconscious programs that we have to go back and forgive, undo, and redo, okay? Learn, unlearn, relearn the right things to do. And that's what we're doing here. Once we get good at doing that, you're going to see, you're going to see like a power that you never knew you had, that ever existed, until you learn this art of forgiving yourself, really, of your past transgression. So let's go back into the tape, really like another 5 minutes, and we'll be right back.
To take this garden and really make it a garden by daily using the pruning shears of revision. I know from experience it will not only bring about these objectives and bring about these changes, but the glorious thing is, awakens in you, use it, the Spirit of Jesus, and you find yourself then not justifying but forgiving, and you will realize that freedom and forgiveness are insolubly linked. You cannot be free and not forgive, for the one that you would bind and judge and condemn anchors you by your own judgment of him, for he is in you. And so by identifying him with the ideal you really want to realize, you free yourself. I heard of this lady, and she would make some man a wonderful wife, and yet she is unwed. She desires to be the companion of a great noble person, but she is unwed. I heard that. Becomes a part of myself. That's my knowledge. I must sacrifice that self, that aspect of my being be as happy as I am, and those in my world are. For that's the self I must sacrifice and put away sin. For sin to the mystic means missing the mark. It doesn't mean the violation of certain codes, unless, of course, you have a mark and the violation fell short. But sin to the mystic is simply having an aim in life and failing to realize it. So when you miss the mark, you have sinned. So he appeared to put away sin by the sacrifice of himself, and knowing that he himself is only all that he consents to, all that he accepts, all that he believes to be true, then what am I believing concerning that one? He is unemployed and he can't find a job. I'm believing it now. Put away that sin where he is missing his mark, and then by putting away of the sin, I do it only by the sacrifice of myself, and myself is that belief. So now I revise. I can't say I will no longer believe he is unemployed. I believe because I do not see a man unemployed. I see him employed, and he knows he is in my mind's eye, for in that state I have pruned him from the unemployed state, and once more reshaped the branch that grows in the garden of God. Tomorrow, people will see him as they could not have seen him before the pruning that took place within me, and he will be gainfully employed. That one is unwell. You prune that branch. You don't accept one thing in the world as final unless it conforms to the ideal you want to realize in the world. But you do it daily. If you do not prune it daily, you will get out of the habit. Then weeds will grow. Every man who really is a gardener calls himself a gardener in the garden of God, for every day is the opportunity to really prune the tree, this wonderful tree. And so everyone that you meet is a branch rooted in the vine that you are, and you are the special tree in the garden of God, a tree bearing life, a tree bearing fruit for the food of the nations. You are the one. If you take me seriously today, tonight, do not let the sun descend upon any vexation of the day. Just look at it. Don't deny it. Don't duck it. Look at it that you may prune it and then reshape it. Take the conversations with your friends today. Were they pleasant? Were they arguments? No matter what it is, were they negative? Then rewrite the script and just imagine the conversation to have taken place that now you are rewriting for the first time. And it will take place, for everything in your world that you behold, though it appears without, it is within, in your imagination. And this wonderful imagination of yours is Christ Jesus. Imagination is the actual habitation of every created thing. No matter what you see in your world, it springs from your imagination. So that's where you go. That's the workshop, the garden of God. And now you have a mission. You have a purpose in life. It's a noble purpose, because you have been selected to really become the chief gardener in the garden of God. And in the garden, you must have pruning shears, and pruning shears is revision. You simply revise, and as you revise the day, you repeal the day, for the day is not slipping into the past. It does not recede as people think. It is always advancing into the future to confront you, either pruned or in some strange weed-like state. So it is.
All right, so let's assess that right there. Interesting reality here is talking about that your past does not recede, or your past transgression does not recede. It goes forward to confront you. So that's important to know. What does that mean? If you misuse the power in any way, shape, or form, it does not go into some file somewhere and locked away. It's a seed, and it has its own appointed time to manifest or to confront you. So you're always gardening, you're always planting. So you have to be aware of the seeds that you're planting, because remember, you're the gardener of your own mind. And this garden, mentioned here as Eden, is your awareness. Within it, we were told that there are two trees, tree of good and evil, the tree of knowledge of good and evil, and the tree of life. The tree of knowledge of good and evil simply means it's the conscious mind that, gives something a name or nature, be it good or evil. It knows if something is good, if the experience is good, and it knows if it's evil. Okay? That's all it really means. The conscious mind, that is the tree of life. You are told not to eat from that tree. And what is it saying there? Don't eat from the tree of life, of the knowledge of good and evil. It's simply saying, do not look at that tree to save you. That tree will not, it will only corrupt your desire, because the conscious mind can only see the expression no, whatever you're experiencing, no. That's what it can see. Okay? It does not know how something is going to happen or how it's going to be fixed. So if you try to eat from that mind, you're going to only confuse your outcome. You're going to see, in other words, if you're experiencing something, unlovely right now, you're going to be caught up with the unloveliness of it. You're only aware of this possibility right now. You cannot see how is it going to be fixed? How is it going to be sorted out? By staying in that state of mind, staying in the conscious mind. You have to leave the conscious mind and eat from the tree of life. The tree of life is the subconscious. Okay? That is the tree that all things exist, all solutions exist. It sees everything In other words, like he mentioned here, the guy, a friend comes to you and says, boy, he just lost his job. Well, your subconscious mind, has the ability to see or to be programmed with that person have it coming back to you another time, telling you that, hey, guess what? I am gainfully employed. I just got the job at Amazon or at the Toyota dealership or wherever. Okay, you can program your subconscious to make that the reality, and only in the subconscious you can do that, because everything to the subconscious mind is what you say it is. Okay, we did that topic some weeks ago. It is what you say it is. You're telling your subconscious mind, this is what I want to realize. This is what I desire. Okay. Yes, I know I'm conscious of the fact that I did not get the job, but I'm not living in that reality. I'm conscious of it, but I'm not going to live in what I'm conscious of. I want to live in what I desire to happen or desire to be, something opposite and apart from what I'm experiencing right now. And so you have to program the subconscious mind. You have to eat from that tree only. That's the tree of life. Why is it called the tree of life? Because whatever you desire, and it goes into the subconscious is what gives it life. The subconscious is female, feminine. What does a female do? Carry the baby, whatever you're impregnated with, from the man or the husband, is what is going to come. If it's a boy, that's what you're going to bring. If it's a girl, that's what you're going to bring. Okay? Can it be otherwise? If you plant corn, you're going to get corn. If you plant apple seed, you're going to get apple. Whatever is planted within the subconscious mind is the only thing it can bring. Okay? So whether it be good or bad. So you have to eat only from that tree within the garden. That tree right there is where you can see what is not apparent, what is not your so-called reality right now. Everything exists in that mind, the subconscious mind. Okay, that mind is rooted in the Father, the superconscious. Okay, which is also within you. Okay, when Scripture tells you in the New Testament, I and the Father are one, but the Father is greater than I. The I here is the individualized subconscious, which just mentioned here again, saying that do not let the sun go down, on anything that was a transgression or a missed opportunity or something like that. We're not talking about the sun in the sky. It is symbolic, but that's not the real sun. The real sun is your subconscious. Okay, it is the individualized version of the whole. Okay, that when you go to sleep, you have now gone into the fourth dimension, the subconscious realm, where whatever you had previously believed or did or contemplated or imagined, it is now taken over by the subconscious to go and make that state imagined or mentally experienced become a physical experience. So that's why they're saying never let the sun go down on your wrath, because the sun here is your subconscious. Okay, not the sun in the sky. That's only symbolic. All right, because the subconscious is life-giving. The sun in the sky is life-giving. It gives life to everything. But they're just talking about when you go to sleep. The sun, which never sleeps, the subconscious, is busy giving life to your transgressions or to your, carefully imagined states, whether it be good, bad, or indifferent. The subconscious mind, the sun, is the life-giving source, right? And this is why, in scripture, Jesus was always going around forgiving people's state of being. How was he doing it? By healing. Like, you would go and tell this guy, pick up your bed and walk, because the guy says, oh, I've been laying here for 30-something years and I cannot walk. And he would tell the guy, well, pick up your bed and walk. What is he doing there? He's telling the guy that your awareness, your subconscious mind, I see that you have gotten up and can walk. You see that you've been laying there for, what the scripture says, 38 years. I've been laying here for 38 years. But your other mind, your true mind, the subconscious, I see that you have gotten up and walked. And so Christ says, pick up your bed and walk. And the guy picked up his bed and walked. That is forgiveness, because the guy see himself as crippled, as unable. But you are now telling yourself, I see otherwise. My state might say, of being right now, might say, I am not employed, I don't have a job, my finances are, not going well. That might be the case, but you can see it as opposite of that and stick to that vision or revision, because now you're revising your actual experiences. Okay, it's all revising when you're going back and saying, this is what I say it is. I'm not going to say it is what it is. I'm going to say it is what I say it is. I am the power. I have the power. And I declare it. I claim it. I see with my mind's eye, my imagination, my life being fruitful, amazing, productive, whatever it is that you can describe it as. You're seeing that with your imagination. Okay, as you imagine that, it programs the subconscious. Okay, and the subconscious, which sees what you see in secret, takes it to the Father, the storehouse, the warehouse, and convey your order of the day or of the week, of the month, or whatnot, and brings it back to you, whether it be good, bad, or indifferent. Remember, everything is within the Father. Okay? Everything that is within the Father. The Father is all-knowing, so cannot know only good, also knows evil. Most people do not know that. Okay? If you are all-knowing, you have to know everything. All means everything. Nothing goes unnoticed. Okay? You are always aware of what's in your mind or what you have done or did. Okay? Always. So this is why they say God always know everything. Because if you know, God knows. Who is God? You, me, all of us. We're all this awareness. So nothing goes. It's like if we're televising on the TV and we're using 20, say 20 cameras, they all have their own angles, and it's all being recorded on the screen. Nothing goes unnoticed. Nothing. You just engage which angle you want to see, and it sees it. But it's all going back to the one source. That one monitor is seeing everything through the many different lenses, many different eyes. And that's who we are. Okay? So nothing goes unnoticed. All right? But what we're saying here today, what is going unnoticed is all of our transgressions that we have committed, and we think it just regresses and goes off into the past. It does not. It's a cycle. it comes right back around to confront you. Those misuse, I like to say, of your power is going to come back around and confront you. So it is wise to know whatever misuses of the power that you did and go back and revise it, go back and forgive it, meaning to give to yourself what you really truly want to experience. Do not say stuff like you would say in the past, I am not worthy. You know, they teach us this nonsense to pray, I am not worthy. Who in God's name starts a prayer by saying, I'm not worthy? That's going forward, one step forward and two steps, maybe 20 steps backwards. It's ridiculous. How can you pray like that? I am not worthy. So what are you asking for? You're asking for something that you're worthy of because it means that it's something that is good for you, that you desire to experience. What do you mean you're not worthy? This is why we have programmed our subconscious mind over the years. And when we're now waking up and we know how the mind works and so on and so forth, and we're desiring all these things, we still cannot get it because we are unaware that we have programmed our inner child, our subconscious mind, long time ago, that we are not worthy. So it's like you've said something to someone and they never forget it. And now you go back to them speaking in a different tongue or saying something opposite of what you told them before. They're gonna remember what you said. But you said you never wanted to be rich, or you never want to have money, or whatever the case may be. So when you're telling them that no, and you were adamant at the time when you were telling them this stuff that you desire not to be or have, I know you're going back to them with this new concept, this revised version of yourself. They're not going to believe you until you show that's who you really are by your actions and stuff like that. So they're going to always remember what you were in the past, and you were adamant, and you've told them many times, and they never forgot it. It became a subconscious memory for them, for you. Okay, so it's the same thing when you're going back to when you're going in your mind and you're saying these things to yourself, these affirmations. What you're doing is creating a new program, so the subconscious can accept it, can say, oh, okay, you keep coming every day, saying the same thing. I see that you have really changed. I'm going to accept the new you, the new version of yourself. The old version still exists. It is not going anywhere. It's just become dormant, laying in the shadows, while the new program is more profound, more, it stands out more. It makes more sense right now to the subconscious to entertain that new version of yourself, so long as you prolong that belief, and so you are reprogramming your subconscious mind to begin now to actualize the new state of being. But just always remember that we have programmed ourselves over the years. We're older now. We've been programmed since we were the age of let's just say 4, 5, 6. Okay, and all the way up until we are now. Don't think that is something that is just going to just magically disappear. It doesn't work like that, because the subconscious mind is designed to protect you. It does not know or care if what you're desiring is better than what you've programmed it with. As far as it is concerned, everything to it is good. Everything. Okay? It is a life-giving source, a life-giving mind. So the conscious desires, the subconscious expresses. It does not say, I'm not going to express that, because that's not what the subconscious desire. All the desire resides in the conscious mind. It's the mind that knows what it wants. It doesn't know how to do it. It just knows what it wants. It's the mind of knowledge. But it has no idea how to produce it. But it knows it has an idea. The subconscious is only there to express it. Okay? So all these programs we've had in our lives over the years, they have not gone anywhere. And deep within us, as we're reprogramming our minds or having new concepts and whatnot, there is still a part of us that does not truly accept the new concept. It's like telling yourself, I'm rich or I'm wealthy. There is a part of you that knows it's a lie, because to you, wealth is money. It's living in a desired community, a nice house, having no debt, the ability to travel, do whatever you want to do. You have no hangups about how much money this is going to cost or will cost and whatnot. Everything is just available to you. But in your current state, this physical state you're in now, you know it's not, because of the conscious mind, you know? So you have to find a way to repetitively redo, learn, unlearn, relearn. Learn the right things to do, unlearn the foolishness that we've been taught, and then relearn what you learned. The right things that you learn now, relearn that. Okay? So you're going back in the past and addressing anything that was inconsistent with the law. Okay? And the Lord's Prayer, tells you, the first thing it says is our Father. And who was saying the prayer in the scripture? That was Jesus. Okay? Telling you that all of us have the same Father, which is the all-knowing source. All of us are the vine, okay, that is attached to this root. And we have our own desires and whatnot, okay, to go in mind, to go in prayer, go in consciousness, and ask for the things that we desire. But if we do not ask aright and we realize it, we can go back and revise it and forgive ourselves. We're not asking any God in the sky to forgive us. You can only forgive yourself. Okay? So that said, let's go ahead and play the rest of the audio, about 5 more minutes of it. Then we're going to come back and close out today's lesson.
Is entirely up to us. I hope that every man and woman here today will take me seriously and start this day pruning your garden, pruning your mind. I know before I leave the city in a matter of 2 weeks that you will be able to tell me of the new things that spring in your world, or that spring from the pruned tree that is your own lovely imagination. You try it. The only art of living is complete forgetfulness by putting something in its place. No vacuum, but putting something in its place. So when you read these strange stories that you read in the daily press, you simply ignore them. They mean nothing. Men who are calling themselves leaders, shepherds of the flock, they excommunicate not just one religion, all religions. The leaders take it upon themselves to excommunicate, not knowing nothing is to be discarded. Not a thing in the world can you discard, for it is forever, but it can be pruned and made to conform to the ideal image. The man who will not revise his day either does not know it, or he has lost the vision of that life, into the likeness of which it is, the true labor of the Spirit of Jesus that transforms this life. So you don't discard them. You take me this morning at my word. You owe me nothing. It costs you not a thing to come here this morning. You come, you give me your time, and I give you my time, but you go out and try it, and start this day pruning that wonderful imagination of yours. Do you know someone that is evil? Stop knowing it by bringing him before your mind's eye and carry on with him the most wonderful conversation in the world, with a tender spirit, a loving spirit, and believe in the reality of this communion. Because if you really do it, you are entering the kingdom of heaven, for you enter heaven by loving, knowing communion with a friend. So make him a friend. If he is a lovely one, no matter what he is, you can prune him, and then as you prune him, you are doing the work which you were set to do for man, and you are that man. You are placed this day in the Garden of Eden to dress it and to keep it. Don't let it continue growing weeds in your world. You are absolutely responsible for every being you meet in this world. That is your responsibility. Just like the teacher we told you of who took this little child that was just about to be expelled. No, the child is not expelled because she heard what you are hearing this morning. So she brought before her mind's eye the child that the principal, the psychiatrist, and all the faculty had agreed unanimously to expel her on her 16th birthday, for she was rude, she was crude, she was unethical, and she went home on a Sunday night and brought that child before her mind's eye and communed with her, and saw in her a tender child, a considerate child, a loving child. The next day, Monday, in class, she expressed all the kindness of that revision of the night before. And 10 days later, when it was seen and witnessed by all the faculty and the psychiatrist, another meeting was called, and they repealed their verdict of 10 days before, and the child is not expelled. She still sits in the George Washington High School in New York City, which is considered an excellent school, and so there she is, with no black marks against her, because one teacher sat in the audience, as you are here, and she believed what I hope everyone here will believe, and she redeemed a branch of her own tree. She didn't realize that the child was herself. She saw up to that very moment all the children that she taught in pure objectivity. Blind, man sees the world objective to himself, something detached from himself. When man begins to awake, he sees everything subjectively related. Everything he meets is part of himself, and what he does not now understand, still he knows that it is related to affinity, to some as yet unrealized force in his own being. So he doesn't discard it. He knows his life is the process by which he will redeem it, and he redeems it by using the pruning shears of revision. Take anything. You have a child today. We took all the requests this morning. There were dozens and dozens of requests this morning. Every one must be answered. None must be discarded. Everyone must be answered. None must be discarded. Don't say one is impossible. There is nothing impossible to your imagination, and your imagination is Christ Jesus. With him, all things are possible. Use him, stir him, wake him from his sleep. He has been sleeping through the centuries. Because he has slept, he has dreamed into being all of these strange and misshaped states, for the world only bears witness to the use or misuse of imagination. As we are told, he is the only thing in the world. What is he, the only thing in the world? Your imagination, for it is the habitation of every created thing, and by it all things are made, and without it is nothing made that is made. So use it wisely, use it lovingly, and any time you use your imagination lovingly on behalf of another, you are, at that moment, literally mediating God to man. Imagination is a redemptive power of the world, and you are actually mediating God to man by using it in a lovely, wonderful way. Now let us go into the silence.
All right. That was the end of that audio. Wonderfully read by that young lady. And it's a wonderful book or teaching of Neville Goddard, The Pruning Shears of Revision. Okay. I will post that in the room, so you guys can have it for future reference. But we used it today to, basically highlight this topic that we're talking about today. And it is on the title of forgiveness. Okay? Forgiving yourself of your past transgression or past misuse will unlock past misuse of the power within you, of your awareness, will unlock your power to manifest. What is that saying? If you go back and highlight, realize any form of beliefs that you had of yourself, these are misuse of the power. These are transgressions. Okay? These are misuse of your power, misuse of the law or the Lord, misuse of your awareness of being. As Never just said, it does not go away or regress in the past. It is a seed that is going to go forward to confront you. It doesn't undo itself. However, you have the ability to prune it. It's like your garden, your grass. Right now, my grass needs to get cut. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to call my guy and have him come out tomorrow and cut the grass. And it's going to look like brand new, like nothing happened. Okay? It cannot do itself. I have to have someone do it, or I have to do it myself. My desire is to have it looking nice and prune and clean. And someone will come and act out that desire for me so I can have the experience. So what am I saying? It cannot do it itself. You have to have a vision. You have to have a mission. You have to have the ability to remediate your own transgressions. Nobody else is going to do it. You have to first have that desire. I desire to get my grass cut. I'm going to call my guy. He's not going to do it for me until I call him up. So it's the same thing you're doing within yourself. You are highlighting, analyzing, recognizing any past desired, manifested desired, anything that didn't manifest, you're going to go back. Anything that was not what you desired to experience is going to come back. Okay, it's going to repeat if you don't go back and prune it. It's not going to. In other words, if I never cut my yard and I go somewhere for 2 days or 2 weeks, when I come back, it's still going to be there. Okay, but I can go back and have it pruned, have it looking real nice. It's not going to just disappear like that. So that's what Neville is saying here, that any past misuse of the power is not going to go away. It is going to still exist, only for you to experience it again. Okay, so if you can go back in your mind and realize and analyze anything that was, say, not fulfilling, go in your imagination now and see it as being fulfilled, and then live it out in your imagination, experience it. Okay, if it is you tried to buy a house before and it never come true, have no fear. Go into your imagination, see yourself walking into this brand new home, see yourself parking the car in the garage, see yourself cutting the grass, see yourself cooking in the kitchen. You are living out this reality in your imagination. You are not hung up on the fact that you were denied. Okay? You are still living out the dream in your mind. Okay? As you continue doing that over and over and over, unbeknownst to you, your subconscious mind will be impregnated, will be convinced, and will be will initiate the act. There you go. You tell yourself, I am, which is your awareness of being. And then whatever comes after I am is what you say it is. Okay? Laurencia just put in there, I am healed, whole. So you're telling yourself by declaring first, I am. I am is your awareness. I, the awareness, am healed and I'm whole. I, the awareness, now have an opulent life. I, the awareness, now have my dream car, my dream home, my dream partner, whatever it is that is in your mind or that you have as a desire. You put your first thing you put in front of it is your awareness. That's why they always tell you, seek you first the kingdom of God. The kingdom of God is first your awareness. And then whatever it is you desire to be, you put that after it. I am healthy. I am wealthy. I am love. I am cured. I am, all the good things that you desired to be. I am the awareness of being healed vitally. That's right. Okay. So even if, and this is why it's hard to accept this truth, is because our conscious mind, which is the doubter, the devil, robs you of that reality, because the conscious mind is only aware of what is going on right now. Okay? Only aware of what's going on right now. And so you have to learn how to discipline the conscious mind to be quiet. I'm talking now, I being the subconscious, wherein all things are possible. The conscious mind does not believe everything is possible. Okay, it doubts everything. Like, man, my credit score is 400 or whatever. I would never be able to buy a house ever. Or you file bankruptcy. Oh man, I'll never be able to buy a house or a car. So it holds on to these realities for whatever reason in its own mind. And that's all it can see. Not realizing that you're programming your subconscious mind to continue that reality of what the conscious mind sees or believes. So you have to discipline that mind. And the story of the New Testament tells you that with all the disciples, the 12 disciples, these represents your conscious mind, are the 12 cranial nerves of the brain. Okay, so it is an awareness within you that is necessary, but it requires discipline. You have to tell them how to behave. You have to tell your ears how to behave, your eyes how to behave, your nose, your taste, and your sense of touch or feeling. You have to give them directions. They are the avenues to your subconscious mind. Okay, and this is why Jesus walked around with 12 disciples, because Jesus represents the subconscious mind, and the 12 disciples represents the conscious mind. So they are one. That's why everywhere he went, they were there. Okay, everywhere he went, they were there with him. But they all have to play their part. Simon is your ability to hear. The word Simon means to hear or hearing. Simon is not a person who ever existed. It is telling you about your own mind, how your mind works. Okay? Simon is the first disciple because hearing. You may not see what's going on, but you will hear something that's going on. Somebody will call you and tell you, I heard that this is happening, I heard that that's happening, but you haven't seen it. So you have to discipline your hearing. You have to learn to discipline your hearing. Learn to discipline the things that you will encounter by way of no proof, you know? So you have to discipline your hearing. Somebody tells you, you know, the world is going to end today. You have to discipline yourself and discard that nonsense. Okay? But most people, unfortunately, will buy into it based on what's going on. They always associate that to be true because of everything that's going on right now. And you hear it all the time. The world is coming to an end. Scripture is manifesting, or it did say in the last days. And so you are in your own mind tying what the scripture says to what's going on right now based on what you heard. So you have to have the discipline to become Peter. Peter means the rock or the unmovable one. That's why Simon was then surnamed Peter. Surname just simply means your second nature. Okay? That the second nature is your truest nature. The second man. The first man is earthy, hairy. The second man is spirit, the Lord from above. Okay? Spirit is what gives life, is the life-giving source. Okay? So you have to live as spirit. You're told to worship God in spirit, not in flesh, not in all the realities that you're experiencing. You're not supposed to use that to as your reality, because obviously that's not what you desire to experience. So do not use what you're seeing or hearing as your reality. Only what you have within yourself, whatever you desire within yourself, tie yourself to that, crucify yourself to that reality, and that will become your reality, even when all the confusion is going on out there in the world. Okay? That will become your reality because that's what you stuck to. That's what you believe. That's what you accepted as your fate. Okay? So that's why Simon again was the first one, the disciple that Jesus always is with or calling to, and so on and so forth. Okay? Read the scriptures, you will see it. It's always Simon. And then of course the last one, Judas, which is another very important disciple or aspect of the mind, which is the art of letting go, the art of forgiveness. You understand? Judas is the most important disciple in the art of changing from one experience to another. Okay? Helps you to change from one experience to another. And so that's why that Judas part of you exists, because it's the part of you that identifies your new desire or what is going to save you from what you're currently going through right now. It was Judas who was the one that brought the soldiers to arrest Jesus. Who is Jesus? Jesus is the Savior. Jesus is your awareness that can save you when you're facing a particular problem or circumstance. And so Judas said, the one that I kiss or become one with is Jesus, is the Savior. Those guys are there to arrest. What arrest means: to seize, to hold on to confine, to, bring closer to for investigation. Okay? And they are there. These soldiers are just your aspect of your awareness that you use now to arrest the thing that you have identified that's going to save you. If you're in prison, what's going to save you? The right lawyer. Well, if you're accused of a crime, what's going to save you? The right lawyer, the right juror, the right judge. Everything got to be right. So you have to see everything as having the right people in your corners. You understand? And then envision it as such. Then it will play its part out as these are the ones that's going to save me from spending time or rest of my life in prison, especially if it's something that you did not do. Okay? So you are Judas identifying who's going to save you, what's going to save you. And then Judas was told to go, and Jesus said to him, now that you have found me, do not let me go. Let me go, the thing that's going to save you, but let all others go. What all others are, the problem, okay? Our problems are the misuse of your power, the unrealized dreams. Stop holding on to that, okay? And saying, I was not, you know, I was not worthy of it at the time, or God punish me. We say foolishness like that. The Lord is punishing me and all this nonsense. We have to let all these things go, these former beliefs go, these programs go. And then whatever you're going to do, go and do it quickly. How do you let go of these things quickly? You initiate what they call, psychological suicide. This is why Judas went and hung himself, because he has to die to the old beliefs, the old self, or else you will continue giving it life. You have to die to that. These are all symbolic. None of these things ever happened. Okay? This is a book of mind science. Mind science means knowledge, a book of knowledge of the mind. That's all it means. So you are just learning these facets of the mind, these personifications of the mind, what they can do or cannot do. Everything has its own appointed, state of being, and so you have the ability to use this one or use that one to initiate whatever. Okay, you have another Simon, that's another disciple. His name is Simon. What name? Simon of There's another name, but Simon of Canaan. Simon of Canaan means Simon of the land of milk and honey. Okay? Milk and honey just is associated with goodness, realizing your goals and dreams. So you have one who first is disciplined to hear only what it desires to hear. It's only going to let into his consciousness the thing that it desires to hear. So if somebody like my principal, when I was in the 9th grade, told me I would never amount to anything. Well, I never let that go into my consciousness. I never let that influence my consciousness, meaning that believe it. Because once you believe it, it's now influencing your subconscious. So it just went through one ear, not the other. I heard what she said, but it never stuck with me. And it was something I believe of myself. If it was something I believe of myself, you better know she would have been right. So I was disciplined to not listen to that nonsense. Or they say what someone believes of you is none of your business. Okay? Or do not make it your business. However, the other Simon now can only hear good news. This is why you have 2 ears. And in your awareness, your conscious mind, the 12 disciples, you have 2 Simons. One to only hear what you want to hear and block out everything else. She said, I'm not going to amount to anything. That's not what I want to hear. I'm listening for somebody to say the opposite, that you're going to be great, you're going to be rich, you're going to be productive, powerful, resourceful. That's what I'm listening for. If I don't hear it, I disregard it. Okay? Now I initiate the other hearing that can only hear good news. So I'm only going to hear good news. If the news is bad, if the news say the economy is going to turn upside down, Trump is going to ruin the country or ruin the world, and all these different things. If I'm hearing that, that's not what I want to allow in my consciousness. So I'm going to discard that. I can only hear good news. That's not what I'm listening out for. Yes, it exists. Yes, it's probably true. Yes, it's probably going to happen. But what else is there? What is the solution? What can undo what is being done? That's what I'm listening out for. The thing that can undo what is being done. Until I hear what can undo what's being done, I'm not going to let what's being done influence my consciousness, my subconscious mind. That's how your mind get programmed. I'm listening now for something that is going to be productive and influence my subconscious, because my subconscious is the life-giving spirit. Is going to produce whatever I allow to set or to become crucified with it, to become one with it. Okay, so that's why you have to discipline your disciples, who are just facets of your mind. Okay, so it's really that simple or elementary in terms of understanding yourself or the mind or your consciousness and how it really works. Okay, so in knowing that, you're able to now go back and discipline um, your past transgression. You're going back into your past failures, or it could be a week ago, a day ago, a month ago. I have some things that happened within this past week. You know that I have to do some shadow work, as they say, to right these transgressions, so to speak. So I understand when these things happen, that they are not personal in terms of if someone transgress or is doing something or says something to me, or we get into a disagreement or whatever, it's not that person being doing something spiteful or on purpose. Um, this is a part of my consciousness or awareness that is playing out. When you're having the experience, it's not, it don't feel like that, but it's good to be aware that it is so. But you're still part human. You are part human, part spirit. The human aspect of you is going to react. Is going to get flustered or mad, angry, um, disappointed. But Sir Clifford, Mr. Sunshine, said something wonderful last week that I forgot what state he called that, but it's something that you must go through. It's going to last for maybe 10, 12 minutes. And once you get out of it, once you analyze it and everything, do not hold on to it. Now you go to the other side, turn the other cheek, and then revise the situation to the outcome you desire. Am I on point with that, Sir Clifford?
You're on point. It's the actions and the reaction. The first 10 minutes of any emotional reaction is just reflex. You have no control over that. But after 10 minutes, you're choosing to stay in that or relive that particular issue, damage, or whatever, that trauma.
Okay.
But, the action is in the reaction. So as long as you stay in control and you make sure you choose that positive reaction and whatever the best situation, the best outcome is for you, you'll be able to get that positive mentality. And you'll be able to see that in your reality. It's often referred to as the Pareto principle, because 80% of what happens to you is outside of your control, while 20% is all your actions outside of that. And that's completely within your control. So what do you do with that 20%? The guy hit my car. I have no control of that, but I can control my reaction to what happens after he hit my car.
And as I said, it's not something that's easy to do, because you just bought the car. It's brand new.
Remember that it's an object. It can get
and
replaced.
somebody come and mess up your car, and you're not realizing that you are still alive. You're intact. Nothing has happened to you. Just the car. The car did what it's supposed to do, but you have this attachment to this this object, and you know the experience is now being messed up because somebody who was not paying attention or whatever the case may be has now come and
or it could have been a child's ball rolling to the street, and he, to avoid that or avoid hitting a child, had to hit your car. You know, it doesn't have to be a negative thing. It doesn't have to be a mistake. It could be, hey, a benefit to everyone. You know, because everyone would rather sacrifice their car than a person. I shouldn't say everyone. Most people would want to sacrifice their car rather than a person.
But you know, we have these road rages and stuff like that that happens because people are attached to the object, and because you know you're being human in a sense. You know, you're having this human experience with this thing, and you don't realize that it's just an object. It's just something that you're experiencing. You make it your life, so to speak. Like nothing else matters but that.
But people also go to the extreme. I almost died because you did that. If you almost died, you'd have been in the hospital. You didn't almost, you avoided it. You know, they always want to go to the most extremely negative thing just to heighten their emotional state, which is the first 10 minutes. You know, you're going to get that way. It's going to be that way. And that is what life happened to. But it's our reaction after that. Make sure we're making better choices and good choices, because a lot of those road rage incidents end with ending someone's life or end with a police interaction that's unneeded.
Yeah.
All because their emotions got the best of them.
So where we want to get to, Clifford, is if we could get out of that first 10 minutes, if we could bypass that first 10 minutes, if we could just go right into the forgiveness stage, so to speak, or realizing that it is you in your consciousness, in your misuse of your awareness, that created this outcome in the first place. If we could just go to that reality, because as you say, if you spend the first 10 minutes venting and then you choose now to take 10 minutes to 1 hour or 1 day or days and weeks and months and years, and we know that we hold on to things for long period of times. Something that happened 20 years ago, 30 years ago, we still hold on to it. And that's why we keep reliving certain experiences, because we have not forgive, meaning to go back and whatever that situation was, give to yourself the better outcome. That's what forgiveness is. You give to yourself the better outcome, and then you leave it as that, and now you've planted a different seed. Believe it, use that to impress your subconscious, let that be your new program, and in time, you will start to see the changes that you've made.
Well, here's the thing about it. The whole point of growth and development is to go through this. There's no shortcut. There's no skipping steps.
Yeah.
So that's like saying, well, how about we just skip the step of work and just make me rich? You know, you can't, it doesn't work that way. You have to go through the steps. If you want to learn to control yourself and react better, you're going to have to go through tougher situations and stronger situations. You don't get stronger using lighter weight. You know, just because you've done this for so long doesn't mean you're going to get better by making it easy. So we have to go through it to grow through it. So we have to get that development. All right. And then we learn how to calm ourselves, control ourselves, and reach that forgiveness faster. Because as you go through this, it won't take 10 minutes. You know, it might take 10 seconds. Yeah. You know, but that's only because of the situations that people have grown through that they're able to develop that.
Okay.
All right.
I
So you
like
have
what
to
you
have
just
those
said
type
right
of
there.
expectations for that and go through it. But then also recognizing if it's been 10 days, 10 weeks, 10 months, 10 years, you're the one that's drinking the poison and holding on to that grudge, expecting the other person to get sick. Life doesn't work that way. All right.
Yeah, and that other person will never change towards you. You know, it's funny. That person will never change, Clifford, but that person will change towards you.
They may change. There's a possibility they change eventually, but it has nothing to do with your anger with them. Your anger will not make them change faster or heal sooner or come back and apologize or anything like that. Your choice to continue to drink that venom and that anger and that hatred is only going to hurt you. So when you choose to let that go after 10 years, 20 years, whatever time, that's when you're going to grow through it. But you don't grow until you let go.
That's true. And I was listening to a tape earlier that says true forgiveness is the art of letting go. So that's another aspect of forgiving or forgiveness, is because you're truly letting go of that negative experience, and then you are going back. This is the next step that is important. You don't only just neglect or forget the thing that happened. You now have to replace it with what you desire to happen by using your imagination. That's what's important. It's almost like if a section of your building is has come down, you have to put back that section. You can't leave it as is. So you go back and you reconfigure it or restructure it and reinforce it. Better this time. This time you're going to find out, why did it cave in? Why did it fall apart? You realize that we had missed some steps. We didn't use rebars. We didn't use the proper cement. We used too much.
But here's the thing. Number one, is not your fault, but it's your responsibility. Okay?
I like that.
All right. So it might not be rebuilding that. It might be tear the whole thing down and move on.
Yeah, start anew. Yeah.
Right. Start anew. But it's your responsibility to have that outcome. It's your responsibility to reframe the situation so that you don't continue living in that negative energy and that negative emotion. The forgiveness truly isn't for the other person. When you really break it down to it, it's for yourself. Because think of all the time, effort, and energy that is lost holding on to the grudge, holding on to that anger, the stress, the wrinkles, the gray hair, all of the negative aspects that come with holding on to that emotion. Whereas when you just forgive, you don't necessarily have to forget, but you can remember it different, so that way you don't bring back those emotions. And that's part of what you're saying when you remember it different and you change the outcome in your mind. You don't get that emotional attachment the same way. Those negative reactions don't relive because the mind doesn't know the difference. Whether you're thinking about a memory and you start smiling, or you think about a memory and start getting angry, it's your thought of the memory that's going to bring back that particular emotion.
Yeah.
All right. So don't relive the negative, reframe the outcome, and that way you can put it into a positive.
Yeah, like I said, that it's like the potter and the clay. You don't discard the clay; you just reshape it. You shape the clay, and the vase or the spoon or whatever you're shaping didn't come out right. You don't throw away the clay. You just reimagine and undo what you first did, and then redo the right thing that you have in mind now. And so you are the awareness. And so you have the ability to do just like that. You can change.
The key thing, it starts in your mind. It starts in your imagination. And you won't be able to see it in reality until you see it in your mind.
Yes. Exactly. I see we have G among us. What's up, G? G.
Yo, G, what's good, man?
What up?
Chilling, bro. Just listening in. Love the information as usual.
All right.
Yeah, man. Everything you guys are saying is beautiful. It technically is your fault, and it's also not your fault as well. But it's your fault because what you've been holding on to previously put you in that situation, put you in that time and space to experience whatever it is that you're experiencing. But it also is not your fault because you have a chance to redo whatever it is that happened to you. You can like you said, you can change the outcome of that. You know what I'm saying? But it is your fault. Everything is our fault. You know what I'm saying? But from what we're holding, the space that we're holding within creates the moments that we're going to experience in the next moments. So it technically is our fault. But we have the ability to choose what we want to hold, what we desire to create. If we desire peace, start holding peace right now, and the next moments to come will be all peaceful moments. You know what I'm saying? If you want to hold beauty, hold that space right now, hold that feeling right now, hold that intention right now, and the next moments to come, next experiences that come in your life will be beautiful, peaceful, wonderful experiences. But if you're holding anger, holding frustration, guilt, you know what I'm saying? The next moments to come must be those things too as well. You'll get experiences because we're always asking, you know what I'm saying? Asking it is given. There's never a time when we're not asking. We can't like call time out in this thing. You know what I'm saying? There's no timeouts in life. You know what I'm saying? You have to play this game. And the way you play is control of every aspect of your mind, your body, your spirit, you know, everything is control. And that's the only way we win in this game is to control everything that we're doing. You know what I'm saying? That's why it is your fault, because you have a choice to choose what space you're holding. So if you're experiencing whatever it is that you're experiencing, it's your fault. You can't blame nobody outside of yourself. Oh, it's not your fault. It is your fault. You got to take responsibility and acknowledge that. Like, find out what, like you said, gee, what was it? I didn't use rebar. I didn't do this. What was I doing? What spaces was I holding before that brought me to this experience? And what is it trying to tell me? You know what I'm saying? Because we're always creating, we're always asking. And the way we create is through our feelings. You know what I'm saying? First, you create the way you feel, creates what you think, creates what the little voice is saying all day long, creates what pictures you're sending out, creates everything. You know what I'm saying? It starts with feeling first. So control your feel, control, you know what I'm saying? Like, and they always talk about the game of life. Every sport is played on some type of field: basketball, hardwood, tennis. You know, soccer is on the grass, football is on the grass. Same thing with life. You know what I'm saying? It's played on the field. It's an energy field. The space that's around you is the field. The space is not empty. The space is full with vibration and frequency, and that is the field. You know, the soul is the field. God is the field. You know what I'm saying? We're walking through God. We are God. You know what I'm saying? You think that the soul is within the body and the body is keeping the soul intact. No, the soul is what's keeping the body intact. You know what I'm saying? The soul is everywhere, keeping all the different particles intact. You know what I'm saying? So we're walking through the space, we're walking through the field, and we're always using the field because the field is reading what we're putting out. You know what I'm saying? And that's how we create, is by what we put out, what frequency we're holding, what station, you know what I'm saying, what station you're tuning into. So it technically is your fault because you're not paying attention, you're not conscious of what you're putting out or what field you're holding, what station you're listening to, but it is your fault. Nonetheless, you wouldn't be there if you wouldn't be experiencing that if you didn't create it. You know what I'm saying? So it's just for you to be conscious enough and alert enough to acknowledge it. Like, damn, I did this, I caused this. What was it? Now you go back and review. Oh yeah, it was this. I remember when I sat in this space for too long, or this person did this, this person said that, and took me out of my vibe, and you allowed that to happen, to get off your vibe, get off track. So it technically is your fault. I mean, it's now it's your choice is what you gonna do about it from moving forward. You know what I'm saying? And it's all about alertness, paying attention, and staying awake at all times. And you know what I'm saying? That's the main key, is to stay awake at all times and understand that you're always creating. There's never a time when we're not creating. We're always creating. You know what I'm saying? If we're always feeling something, we're always thinking something. That little voice is always saying something. It's just, what is it saying? What is it feeling? What are you feeling? You got to be conscious enough to pre-program how you want to feel. You know what I'm saying? When you're conscious enough in doing that, you're able to catch yourself when you fall off track and be like, damn, I know. You shake yourself out of it. I know if I keep feeling this way, I gotta, you know what I'm saying? I put on some good music. Let me go outside and take a walk. Let me go kiss my kids. Let me go cook something. You know what I'm saying? Let me go. It's up to you to move from that space. You know what I'm saying? You're alert enough to catch that. So that's our job, is to stay awake, stay alert, and forgive yourself, like you say. Never spend time not loving yourself. You know what I'm saying? You have to love yourself no matter what, as you are, as is. You know, this is the vessel that we chose to experience this time and space, this life with. So you got to love it as it is. You know, just don't spend any time hating yourself. You know what I'm saying? Understand who you are. If you hate yourself, you hate God, because I and my Father are one. You know what I'm saying? You and God are one. So if you're hating yourself, understand who you're hating. If you're hating somebody else, you know what I'm saying, understand who you're hating, because that person and the Father is one as well. You know, if you hate mushrooms, understand what you're hating. It's okay to not like something. It's okay to not like it, but don't hate it. You know what I'm saying? Because the mushroom and the Father is one as well. You know what I'm saying? So everything is I am my Father is one. The blade of grass, the bird, your wife, your child, whatever it is, you know, is God manifesting itself. You know what I'm saying? An aspect, a vessel of God. You know what I'm saying? So there's nothing that's not God. You know what I'm saying? Even the devil. You know what I'm saying? God gave life to the devil as well, so he can experience what it is to be so-called bad. Bad has to exist for good to know what good is. You know what I'm saying? Fear has to exist so love can know what love is. You know what I'm saying? The opposite of night has to exist so daylight can know what it is. You know what I'm saying? So same thing with everything else. You know what I'm saying? So, but we're always creating, man, and it's always our fault. You know what I'm saying? I always realize that, and just everything is our fault, man. It is. So if something beautiful is happening to you, it's your fault that it's happening to you. If blessing is coming into your life, that's my fault. I created it. Don't acknowledge. Don't give that to nobody else but yourself. Same thing. The opposite. If bad things that happen to you, it's my fault. You know what I'm saying? I used to blame everything. Oh yeah, it was because my mom didn't do this, my dad didn't do this for me. This is why these things are happening to me. You know what I'm saying? When I stopped blaming, I started understanding this law. I started taking responsibility. Now it is my fault. You know what I'm saying? I got arrested and this and that because it was my fault. I started, I used to have some type of bad feelings towards cops, and I always thought they were out to get me. And guess what? I created that. Every corner, every turn I made, they were there waiting on me. As soon as I went over 85 miles per hour, they was there. It seemed like they was just right there waiting. But the whole time, I've created that, man. Like I've put that out there before, and then they just happened to answer my prayers because that's what I was asking for. Like I hated this. I'm just giving different scenarios where, you know what I'm saying. But everything is our fault, man. The key is to control what station you're listening to and to hold that as much as possible. It's okay to cry. It's okay to feel upset, but don't stay there. You know what I'm saying? Because we're always creating. You know what I'm saying? It's okay to go to another station and listen to something different or feel something different and let it out and get it out. You know what I'm saying? Don't hold it and get it out. But don't stay there, because if you stay there, this is not what you're asking for. You know what I'm saying? And these are the experiences you will get. But you created it. It's your fault too when that happens. You know what I'm saying? But just love yourself no matter what. Understand who we are. You know what I'm saying? And no matter what, just keep loving yourself. Don't never spend any time not loving God. And you are God. I am God. You know what I'm saying? It is all of us. You know. But I love all of y'all, man. And I'm glad I was able to catch this lesson. And I know I've been missing for a while, but yeah, it's been crazy. Yeah, but I love y'all, man, and let's keep it going.
Yeah, thank you for that input, G. I mean, you might be missing, or I've been missing, but still have you in spirit, you know, still know that your mind is still here, even when you're elsewhere. So you are still conscious of what we're doing, and would love to be there, but sometimes, you know, you're just not able to. But I know you listen to the recordings probably while at work and stuff like that. So that's why we do the recording, so that anyone who misses the the live can review it later on. So that's a good thing about technology, that nothing passes. So much so, like your imagination, your consciousness. Isn't that amazing that we have this ability to now record everything? And that's what your consciousness does. It records everything, and it's always there, laying dormant until um, you ask for access. You know, you recall the that particular section of life and stuff like that. So, but as you were saying, that to concur, Sir T said earlier that not because you are conscious of an experience doesn't mean, he says, you being aware of an experience, you being conscious of an experience does not make you, is not why you are aware of it. So you being, being conscious of an experience is not what makes you aware of it. However, you being aware of an experience is what makes you, you being aware of a particular experience is what makes you experience it, you know, because you had the awareness. Now you have the experience, you know, and now you are aware that you're having it, but not because you're having it is not why you are aware. You are having it because you were first aware of that particular outcome. As you said earlier about the police and the cars and police car and speed and so on and so forth, um, it's an experience that manifested because you were first internalizing that outcome, you know. So everything that transpires in our lives, unfortunately, is our fault. And it's also fortunate it is our fault, because if it was not our fault, we would not be able to change it. If it was not our doing, we would not be able to change it. It has to be your doing for you to be able to change it. You're the potter and it's the clay. You mess up the form. As the potter, you can go back and reshape it. If somebody else did it, you can't fix it because somebody has messed it up. So they have to come and fix it now, you know, because it's not your doing. But because you're having the experience, it has to be your doing, you know, because you're having the experience. You just don't remember. We do a lot of stuff in unconsciously um, or unknowingly, you know. We don't remember. But you may plant a seed and don't remember you plant the seed. But when that tree comes up, you will know that there was a seed planted. You will not, like I just saw a beetroot, a beetroot plant growing up in one of my one of the flower pot, and I'm like, where does beetroot come from? I don't remember planting a beetroot. I know it's beetroot because it looks like callaloo, looks just like callaloo, but the leaves are the stems are red and stuff like that and whatnot. So, and I know all the beetroot leaves they look, but I don't remember putting a beetroot. I don't know where it came from. You know, I have no idea how it got there, but I know it's not there by accident, or it's not there unless something or someone put it there. You understand? It didn't just come out of nowhere. Something put it there. Someone put it there. I know it's growing, and it looks like it's been laying dormant. But since the rain started fall, all of a sudden, this thing springs up. So your life is just like that. You will see things come up out of nowhere, and you will not know how it got there. But knowing that, having that awareness that you are the cause, it must now be this. You're able to now fix it if you're the cause. The same power that got you in trouble is the same power you have to use to get you out. It is no other power. It's only one, your imagination. Okay. So that's it, guys. Thank you, G, for your input, and thank you everyone for your attention and attendance in this lesson today. Again, reiterate the lesson: forgiveness or forgiving yourself of your past transgressions will unlock your power to manifest. Okay, forgiving yourself of your past misuse of your power will unlock your power to manifest. So let that sink in. Okay, think in your own self, your own mind. What are the unlovely things that you believed about yourself, said about yourself, or used to believe about yourself? Even though you used to believe it and you no longer believe it, does not mean it's not still in your subconscious. You have to now go back and undo that section that you used to hold on to and insert what should have been your input in the first place. Okay? Insert what should have been what you said to yourself in the first place. If you used to say to yourself, I will never amount to anything, or I will never be anything. I will always be broke. The world is bad, or everybody is evil, or all these things that you used to say to yourself. And then inventory your outcome, inventory your life, and you will see that you will realize that those things that you believe of yourself, every now and then you're having the experiences to show you what you have believed of yourself. Okay, you will see the manifested outcomes of those former beliefs that are now coming to haunt you, or as they say, foes coming to roost. Okay, you will see that, you will experience it, but you can change it by going back. And how you go back? It's simple. You're having the experience, you go within yourself, and you just undo that outcome. See yourself having the opposite. And that's how if it's something that you remember in particular, then it's even easier. But if you're having an experience, how you forgive yourself, you reverse that outcome. You go back to where it never happened. But insert within that space, that part that you cut out, that edit, the actual things that you desire to experience. Change the experience from within, and you will change it from without. Is that Surti? No, Surti just joined back. Or is that still G right there? I just saw an iPhone came in. Are you that Surti?
That was me, G. I came in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was got on the actual YouTube Zoom link. But yeah, it's not our fault. Like the situation that we were born into, the parents that we, you know what I'm saying, that we were born into, and where we live and stuff like that. But it is your fault. Like once you come to an awareness and you come to understand how life truly works, and that we're always asking. Once you come to that understanding, then you it's then you realize that everything is your fault. You have it's all about control. We'll bake a cake later, bro. Cake. Yeah. So that's all I wanted to say. But it is our fault, but it's not our fault as well, though. But love yourself no matter what. You know what I'm saying? Never spend time hating yourself or hating God, because you and your Father are one. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and just to add to what you're saying, G, we were conditioned when we were young. That's not our fault. But we're conditioned with a particular belief system. And then once we start to carry out that same belief system, that part now becomes our doing, our misuse of the power, you know. So at first it's not our fault. We receive bad intentions, I mean bad directions and bad concepts of ourselves, and we kind of believe that, hold on to it, practiced it, and then once we're put out there to be independent now, to act on our own, we continue using it the way we were taught. But we're the ones doing it. We're the ones that misusing the power because we were never given the right direction on how to use the power in the first place. But now that becomes our doing, which is seen as a fault. A fault is just simply just misuse of something, you know. And so if we can recognize that it was first given to us this way, but we still have control. We still are able to change it, to undo it. It's not set in stone. And if we do not unchange it, do not undo it, it really becomes our fault now because we have the ability to undo it, even though we were given it as is. We can still say it is what I say it is. We still have that awareness, that power within to change it from it is what it is, being that it was given to us as is, to now saying it is what I say it is. It doesn't have to remain what it is. You get to decide going forward. Okay? So leave on that note. Think within yourselves, anything you need to forgive yourself of, and so on and so forth. Practice that art of forgiveness of your misuse of the power, transgressions. Undo it, redo it, and watch what happens in the future to come. All right. So love you guys. Enjoy the rest of your sunny Sunday, and we will see you guys next week on right here again on One Great I Am Awareness or Awakening. All right. Love you guys. We're over, and we're